Pennsylvania Supreme Court Justice David Wecht is doing something he did not have to do much of 10 years ago, campaigning.
And, you know, it's a great feeling to be here in my hometown, and there's no place like it in the world.
3 justices have their chambers here in Pittsburgh. In the 1960s, the state held a constitutional convention, and PA voters ratified a compromise between the idea of popular selection of judges and merit-based selection.
The compromise was that judges at all levels would be elected in partisan elections. And then after 10 years, they would stand in a nonpartisan yes-no election, which would test the people's assessment of their merit, their integrity, and their competence.
You've seen the political ads urging you to vote no on retention, and then the counter ads urging you to vote yes to retaining Justices Christine Donahue, Kevin Dougherty, and David Wecht. If any or all of these judges are not retained when you, the voters, cast your ballots November 4th, there would be an election in 2027 to replace them. And that would be partisan, meaning Republicans versus Democrats.
So that's the world we live in. And the reality is that that's advocacy in our system. It's hard for people to fight their way through all that literature.
There's so much misleading stuff here.
Ken Gormley is a legal scholar. The Duquesne University president is also a law professor who says the ads are making an election political when it shouldn't be. What are they saying yes or no to for these 3 individuals?
A simple question: should this justice be retained on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court? And historically, the way it's been set up, because they're non-political, if the person has done their job as a judge, if they haven't committed any great ethical infractions, if they haven't failed to come to work, if they go in and do their job as a, sworn to uphold the Constitution and make their best decisions, the answer has always been yes.
He says there's actually been one exception to that. In 2005, Justice Russell Nigro was voted out of office after the state legislature passed, and the governor signed, a pay raise bill for all 3 branches of government. That took place overnight. PA voters voted him off the bench. This election cycle, TV ads and mailers mention protecting women. Justice Wecht wrote an opinion on the Allegheny reproductive case.
My colleagues and I decided that a law that the state legislature had passed, which guaranteed Medicaid funding for men for reproductive health care, but denied it to women, violated Pennsylvania's Equal Rights Amendment.
These ads will likely continue until November 4th. Ken Gormley hopes we don't see them in future judge elections.
I would hope this is an aberration, and I would hope as we go into future cycles where there are Republican originally justices up for retention, voters treat it exactly the same way. As long as they have done their job faithfully as judges, then they should get a yes vote and continue to do that work, because ultimately our system is only protected if you have one branch that is neutral and calls the shots as they see them. That's what protects us as a democratic society.
All right, a really important point here. I want to show you a sample ballot right here. This is just from the city of Pittsburgh, a sample. These ballots in PA, they have 2 sides. So the Supreme Court judge retention questions, they're right here on page 2. You got to flip the thing over. So if you forget to turn the ballot over, you're actually giving up half of your vote, along with some other races as well. So if you want to find out more about how these 3 justices have ruled over the past 10 years, you're welcome to do it. We put a link to the state Supreme Court rulings on WTAE.com.